CockoftheWalkPodcast. Here we go for a walk, and a car drove by again, and it was just random. It's just the theme song. But
yeah, that's it. How's it going?
It's going good. What I was going to ask you, since this is what we said we would touch on before, is how is the school going? In all honesty.
First of all, this is not our normal time. We're walking.
You have a child that is attending school right now, and I decided to ask my dad instead of me.
She's in school. We're walking.
Okay, you know what? We'll ask you first. Yeah, we'll ask Alexis first. We last time we had her on our podcast, we told her just.
You told me last time.
Go ahead.
That, if I came back on, you'd ask me questions. You literally just asked.
I forgot you were there for a second. I literally.
Well, we got Alexis. We got my dog.
Yeah, it's a full crew.
It's mid-afternoon walk.
I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't know what school's like right now. So go ahead, Alexis. You share everything you want to share.
Basically, school is honestly pointless for the children, my brother and his friend. It's ridiculously stupid for them because they're not doing anything at all.
Okay.
They're sitting there watching videos all day, trying to do educational stuff, but their teachers aren't posting anything and nothing is happening.
They get a random assignment here and there, and then when the random assignment comes in, they get it done and then sit and wait for another random assignment.
That's
we had
what happens. Yep.
several Zoom calls, but they were brief. They weren't classes. They were basically introductory. Hi, this is how we're doing this. Glad you can log on. All right, there's an assignment. Have a good day. 10 minutes.
Really?
That's all the Zoom calls were.
It was a Zoom call, so they got to see their teacher, and they're just like, hey, what's going on? Okay, bye.
Yeah, got to see their teachers and their classmates, pictures up on the screen. And it was like,
I'm gonna go back to Alexis real quick, because as we talk about mental health
but hers
and
is
everything.
Hers is a little bit different.
So how does it make you feel? How does school make you feel right now?
Well,
like,
in reality, school has always made me feel like I am wasting my life away in a prison.
Okay.
I know it sounds very typical teenager to say, but
that's okay.
I mean, honestly, you're sitting there learning stuff you're never going to ever use.
Is that how you feel? Yeah, you feel like you're okay.
I feel like what we should be doing in schools is having children, learn traits, like for jobs and things that will help them in the future, and learn how to do like taxes and learn how to drive. We don't even have drivers ed at our school. Stupid.
Focused, skilled focus.
You need skilled, focused activities instead of having random activities that maybe kids will use.
So
maybe like 5% chance.
When it talks about math, you'd prefer math as it pertains to taxes and gas in your car, numbers that you're actually balancing a checkbook, if that exists.
You could basically teach a 10-year-old how to figure out gas mileage and gas prices. It's not hard.
Yeah, but that's the kind of math you'd prefer over here's a calculus problem.
Oh yeah,
and
right now I'm learning geometry on my computer, and I'm like, when am I ever gonna maybe I'll make a garden, but who cares? I'll just
But don't you think that makes a well-rounded education, that you understand or at least have a basis of great literature, and there's scientists that are putting rockets on the moon. That might not be what I'm interested in, but somebody has to know that information. So even just having a general understanding, you don't think that's valuable?
I mean, I think that having at least a little bit of information about everything is valuable. Don't get me wrong about that. Learning things is valuable, and it's very important to learn things. But at the same time, why spend your time learning things that don't interest you?
Okay.
You could be learning things that do interest you. And if they don't interest you, then you should have the ability
that's
to
college,
change.
right?
Wait till you get to college and you have to pay for classes that aren't interesting to you.
Exactly. And that's why the education system is extremely corrupt.
Things aren't incredibly. I think the problem with the school system is they're trying to focus on every person's interest all at once.
Yeah.
And every person's learning skill all at once. If you are better at hands-on learning, here's a classroom, you're going to have to deal with that. Or if you're great in the classroom but you want hands-on learning or whatever, you don't get those opportunities because You have to cater to everybody, not just one person. So maybe that's why school kind of feels like it's not focused towards your learning style, because it can't be.
It's not necessarily my learning style. It's just the fact that, like, I mean, it doesn't make any, to me, it just doesn't make any sense why people are, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Anyways, because...
Well, anyway, her schooling, from what I've seen and what I've been there, trying to help her with, is essentially college level courses. I mean, it's the way online college is. Here's a program. It's already pre-recorded, already ready to go, and all you have to do is watch and take quizzes as you're watching.
Yeah.
And that to me is not. There's no interaction with the teacher. There's no interaction with classmates. It's a pre-recorded.
Oh, it's pre-recorded. It's not. He's not even live, or
no,
she's
it's not live at all.
It's not live. It's a pre-recorded lesson.
It's just videos.
We're talking about CockoftheWalkPodcast, and we're talking about the new school year, just to everyone catch us up.
So, it's just that.
Yeah,
It's unsociable.
It's not interactive.
There's no interaction between anybody or anything. You just sit there, watch the video, do your stuff, and that's it. And you can't skip over the video even if you know what's happening. So you have to watch through everything.
Do you watch the whole video, or do you get distracted mid-video?
Most of the time I get distracted because I already know what to do. Because it's stuff I've been learning since 4th grade.
Now as you talk about it...
And that's the thing that that's ridiculous to me, is that we're learning the same unnecessary thing repetitively.
Here's an acute angle. Right, you already know what the heck an acute angle was since 3rd grade. Mitochondria is what? The powerhouse of the cell.
The powerhouse of the cell, yeah.
Grade, and you hear this all the time, the same stuff over and over again. And is it repetition is necessary for retention, or is this, is that teaching for everyone, or is that just a teaching style that, frankly, isn't informative and educational? That would support your argument.
So I was going to say, it seems to me that you are frustrated with how school is going. Is that an accurate statement?
I have been frustrated with how school is going.
Yes.
Since I figured out that school isn't fun anymore.
It's not fun. And it also seems to me that they've peeled back the fact that there's a lot of fluff in school when you actually are sitting in school. They essentially have 15 minutes or less of an actual curriculum with with the other 30 to make a 45-minute class of classroom management for making sure you're doing it. But now that you're at home, all that's peeled away and you're just getting it done in 15 minutes.
And even better, I don't mean to interrupt, but even better, that kids are cut down to 2 days a week. 2 days.
2 days of school a week?
Instead of 5, in the 2 15-minute Zoom calls, and that's your education for the week. I mean,
and this is just how it's being done in this county, but you can assume that,
if there's a familiar system for like, I've talked to my mom who's in a completely other state, and they're doing a hybrid schedule, which is very similar to what we're doing. Your online education is limited to, even if the entire time allotted is class time, an hour and a half, twice a week.
An hour and a half, twice a week.
That's it.
But anyways, this just shows that the education system does not know what they're doing with the repetitiveness of everything, because it's just the same thing over and over again, and it's obviously shown that it isn't needed.
This isn't needed
because they don't know how to implement it now. And if it was necessary, they would have had it already implanted and already known what's going on.
Get that out of there. Are you saying that there's an element of straight up, I got to clarify because I might have a difference of opinion. Public schooling is not needed?
In most cases, no. It's not.
Okay.
I mean,
but with the way it is set up now, it is not needed.
With the model that we are being presented, it gives evidence to the absurdity of basically school is a babysitter for children.
Is that why you think, and me as an educator, have always griped about, how come I feel like a babysitter? And now that also makes a very, I don't want to say that it's unnecessary, because it actually funds you know, if I was an educator right now, it'd be my livelihood. And there's a lot of teachers out there right now that are like, oh, I think it's needed. And I'm sure there's arguments for both sides. I would argue that it's needed it doesn't need to be used as a babysitter. That's what it doesn't need to be used as. But there are kids whose only meal may come from school, and whose people that suspect abuse at the home, they suspect it because they've actually got to go to school. So those are two reasons why maybe it is needed, even though that has nothing to do with curriculum. I'm sure there's another argument to be made that curriculum is important, but you know, kids that are being abused at home, they go to school and it gets identified.
Or at least, you know, escape abuse for a brief period of time, which
Correct.
is unfortunate. But
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing in arguments why I think it could be needed.
I feel like education is needed, but I don't feel like the way education is being taught is correct.
education reform is needed. You know?
Education reform is needed
Yes.
to make student. Now that's why we're talking to you, because you are a student. You're almost 16, and it's appropriate to get your opinion. You know, there's going to be different people of different age groups that have different opinions. You're going to go throw that poop away? Go throw the poop away, Alexis.
All right, so yeah, back to you. I guess some of your updates is you've been working. Got a job.
Here's the thing about having a pending felony, as we talked about already. Boy, do they treat you like a monster.
Yeah.
Good God. Like, I have had, and I'm gonna word it delicately. Go ahead.
Interrupt you
Yeah,
again.
that beautiful boat.
Size of that boat.
Yeah, look at the. Okay, another thing. I wish we did have some kind of camera. It's just like a gambling boat. Just
It's like
go,
a yacht.
Yeah.
It's like a huge yacht.
Some guy took his giant boat out
on the
today.
Cumberland River.
Jesus, heavy Christ,
Not
dude.
even like a huge river.
No.
The yacht takes up like half of it.
There's just no rules out here. But so I've had so much anxiety because of the capitalism of the world, and being required to even if you're like, Your Honor, I make absolutely no money, I'm unemployed. Okay, so we're gonna assume you can get a $15 an hour job, and we're gonna set that, and you're gonna be expected to make that. Here's your financial obligation since you have children. And you're like, you know what? Okay, Your Honor, I'll play your game. I'll go get one. Hard pass on everything from obviously my education, being a teacher, hard pass on being a teacher, and then hard pass all the way down to doing like Grubhub. You know what I mean? Hard pass on all that. And so that is the stress and anxiety I have been dealing with, to the point of not being able to concentrate on how to move forward when it's so stagnant. And that's been really weighing on my mental health, and how the hell am I supposed to be a productive member of society when, without a conviction, I have been cast aside and thrown into this, you're the monster of Mount Juliet, dude. Like, you're just, that's who you are. Like, no, I would like to be, you know, it's not situational. And there are some places that have reached out to me during the interview process, or after I've been given a offer of employment, that needed to clarify things. I am so open and honest with the situation, and then they turn around and go, yeah, hard pass again. We just wanted to see your
I don't know how much detail we want to go into, and how personal you want to get, but you applied to a job at my place of employment.
Hard pass. Well, actually, not a hard pass.
Soft pass to begin with.
Yeah.
And then once, again, you had an opportunity to defend your position, they apparently listened to you and said, no, not good enough.
Hard pass. Yeah. Then it was, we're just going to pass. We're going to renege on.
Rescind our offer.
Rescind our offer. Renege.
Yeah, and that's where I work. And tried to help you out, get a job, you know, in my place of employment.
I guess I am shocked that such a personal issue is so like taboo. Like you get marked like so badly without anything, and you're just going through the process that they told you to go through. That you're supposed to sit there and wait these months to go through this process, and it's like, yeah, but while you're doing that, let's just assume you're the worst of you.
Yeah, and you said it too. On paper, it's a judgment of character with words.
Yeah.
With words, it's like pending felony. Judge that character. Judge his.
Why would he have that if he didn't do it? Kind of thing. That's how it feels. And it is. It's your entire character is summed up in 2 sentences, 1 sentence. Like everything about you, here's 2 sentences about him. or even 2 words.
Yeah.
2 words together mean what you are, pending felony. And you're like, wait, there's a lot more to me in my life that I've done, but no, sir. All we need is these 2 words.
Yeah. Well, I won't say who, but I know someone who has a conviction on their, report that says terroristic threats. Imagine trying to get a job with that.
Terroristic
You're a terrorist. And what the situation was is he found a guy screwing his girlfriend and told the guy in front of the cops, "I'm going to kill you." That's a terroristic threat. That's what he got charged with. You say judge a person based on 2 words, right? Felony, terroristic threat.
Exactly, 2 words. And then what about, here you go, and this is something that my brother was griping about when I was talking about situations like this. Then you got this fucker, Jeffrey Epstein, running around raping the shit out of girls for decades, and it's just like, here's your sweetheart deal, let's, all you were doing was procuring a prostitute, or
throw money at the situation, and it goes away.
And then here's the other opposite side of like, oh, you have so much more to know about you. If this is a situation, let's look at it because it's most likely a one-off, and you got this fucker running around raping the shit out of people for decades, going, when I do get caught, I'll be nothing will happen to me. There'll be no justice for the victims. And it blows my mind.
Despicable.
It is. It's crazy despicable. So that's just me griping about that situation. Well, I want to know how you feel about the school.
Honestly, as far as like the actual being a parent in this situation.
Yeah, how you feel about being a parent?
Had a really small road bump on the first day and got over it. That was kind of a personal situation with, my son being a little bit combative.
Okay.
And, it was me kind of being stubborn and him being stubborn at the same time, the other way. We got over it,
You might feel what it feels like when your son might be in front of a teacher and that teacher's like, do this, and they're like, well, I'm doing this. Did you get that feeling, or is it different because it was more about your role as a parent and his role as a son?
I kind of think it was more of a role as a parent.
Okay.
So,
just asking.
I would hope that he wouldn't be that confrontational to an authority figure.
You would hope, yeah.
But anyway, got over that, no big deal. School does seem kind of on the pointless end. You have very little instruction. I'm sitting there basically reminding my kids every hour, check your classroom and see if you have an assignment. Okay, no assignment. Go back and watch something educational, do something educational. And my kids, I give my son actually and my daughter a ton of credit. They've been putting in the effort. They've been sitting at a computer. They're not complaining. Again, my son is attempting to do something educational. He might fall off into, well, I'm going to watch Bill Nye, right? Bill Nye's educational, but are you really learning anything? You might be learning a little bit.
And that's because you kind of but instructed him to, you can't go on, the Xbox, the PS4, the Switch. You must, if you're not doing something, and that happens in school a lot. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna watch a video, take notes, without the notes, right? Yeah. And
again, so is that education, or is that killing time until your next assignment?
Yeah, which is what like I said, it's being exposed that there was a lot of downtime in school. A lot in that downtime. There's arguments for it. Who's honking at us and for what?
They're gonna turn.
Oh.
Come on, girl.
And that downtime is because you need a 9-to-5 job, so the parents can go to work from 9 to 5, and they can get their free, because they pay their tax dollars, right? Babysitting.
Yeah. No, let's be honest. This was the first week. This was feeling it out. This was testing kids' knowledge on how to access the Zoom meetings, how to access their homework assignments, feeling everybody out, kind of getting the groundwork laid down. So maybe there will be more structure in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's an actual schedule now instead of just a random email saying, I think we're going to need a Zoom call tomorrow.
Okay.
But it's also unfortunate that the teachers that are educating the kids that are doing online school, it's unfortunate because they're also teaching school for the hybrid children as well. So they're teaching for the hybrid, the regular school, and the virtual school, because the school board was so dumb that they didn't hire more teachers. And I guarantee there wasn't teachers to hire because
pending felonies. No, keep going.
It seemed like a smack this together and let's hope it works.
Throw all this against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah,
so to speak.
and
throw it at the teachers and see what sticks.
Yeah, it puts the teachers at the position of like, well, I hope you can work this out so you earn your paycheck. You know?
Which was already low. Yeah, which was already low enough. I'm sure. I'd like to hear if there are teachers who made a pay increase or they got a pay increase during this school year to deal with this, this situation, or if they're just like, you get what you get, deal with it, figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be tough. It's got to be tough on teachers, you know? So I try not to take anger out on them or send nasty emails, but sometimes I sent a pretty nasty one the other day about not giving enough information. Like, there will be a Zoom meeting on Wednesday. End of email.
Now, yeah, and you're like, when? When? What time? What time on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it's like, are you kidding me? This is the information you're providing everybody, and I'm supposed to go off that. But is what it is. I'm hoping.
What are you hoping? That's what I'm going to I'm going to ask you both.
As we go forward, that the schedule that's listed is actually instruction time. If they have an hour and a half, assigned for math from 9 to 10:30, that there's a Zoom call with a child in front of an instructor for an hour and a half.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping.
There you go. And what do you hope for at least next week? Like, if not for the whole year, like, what can they do better, or what do you feel?
Well, I'm
like?
an honors student, and they're supposed to be doing an honors program off to the side.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that'll get kicked off. And they're supposed to have a Zoom meeting that answers a lot of the kids' questions, and I hope that actually happens.
So I'm gonna clarify something real quick. You just said you're an honor student, so you're no dum-dum. You're not failing. You're not failing your classes.
No.
So even if you have a opinion that people don't that aren't on your same side, they don't see your perspective, it is worth noting that you're doing well in school.
Yeah.
She's not a dumb kid who hates school.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to clarify.
I'm a smart kid that has found the
honor roll student since kindergarten.
God knows when, yeah.
Yeah, since kindergarten, honor roll student. So, again, a kid
it's just the fact that.
So they should have an honor rolls program coming up that you can do it, because.
Yeah.
Did you mention that they can? You could speed through your lessons. You can get like a month ahead if you really wanted to.
Oh yeah, I'm already a week ahead. So.
You're already a week ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the program that they have set up is basically like, here is everything you need to do, and you can get it done on your own time as long as you do an hour and a half per course per day, instead of just like the guy said it, because it was repetitive as all get out, to show these kids that probably aren't going to care. And honestly, I don't blame the kids that don't care.
You don't blame them?
I don't blame them.
Because it's easy to not care?
Because it's easy to not care, because there's nothing to care about.
Now, do you know any students that are like, that any friends or anything that are like 3 weeks ahead? You said you're a week. Do you know anyone who's like just burning through it?
No, because none of them are doing the virtual.
Oh, okay.
So most of my friends are doing hybrid.
I'm going to go to your dad real quick.
Explain how your answers for all your questions and quizzes are accessible.
Oh yeah. There's a website called Quizlet,
Ah.
And a lot of the answers you just need to search up real quick. You need to look up the question, the answer will pop up, and somebody will already have the answer on there for you.
Because everything's about clickbait and stuff. So you're talking about the back of the book has now become the internet. You know how like we're talking about, hey, the odds are in the back of the book. Yeah, now it's everything and it's on the internet.
She can find every answer to every question without even watching the video. She could probably sit there and hit play and walk away.
Yeah.
And there's no safety net for that. It's just like, well, we thought you'd be responsible. Well, I'm 15.
What's saying that I don't sit down with her login and do her assignment for her?
Or pay. Hey,
or pay
on Craigslist, on one of these sites, I will do your stuff guaranteed at least A-. You know, like
yeah, because all I got to do is look it up online.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll do the legwork for you. No one will be none the wiser. You must do the Zoom call, but I will do everything else for you. Check in.
That's exactly.
Let's game the system.
Yeah.
You know?
Not saying anyone should do that, but what's stopping someone from doing that?
I mean, I'm already gaming the system. I look up half the answers if I don't know them,
Hypothetically.
Because I'm trying to be a good student.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, I'm trying to be the best student I can be. For what reason?
Because it's in your character.
Something.
Well, it's like we talked about real quick when you're talking about like, it's a beautiful day today, and you might have to go to work because you do have a job. And what's stopping you or your dad from going, how much are you gonna make today? $40. Here's $40. Call off. When you're like, well, no, it's about responsibility at that point. You applied, you went to the interview, they accepted you. Yeah, work sucks, but here's me clocking in because I chose this responsibility. Now, in school-wise, you're saying, okay, I'm here. I like to be the best student I can be. I like to try to do my best. So I'll sit through this game. This game is bullshit, everybody. This game is like, why didn't you guys actually construct a better game? It's full of holes. I could break this game right now. You know what you're talking about? We're talking about.
Yeah, it can glitch. Yeah.
So we're real quick as a side note, and I'll post as much as I can in Facebook and other places. Shaun makes games. Shaun makes games.
Wow.
He's made at least 2 if not 3 games, and I've been.
And guess who broke one of them?
You did.
Of course I did.
So when you make a game, you have to play test the game,
Yeah.
and not only does he have board games, but we actually sat there play testing a game we call the Cock of the Walk card game, which I'll post a video on how to play the Cock of the Walk card game with dice, and we tried to break it, which is important because if you can break it,
It's not good.
it's not a good game.
Yeah.
And so when we're talking about the school system, they're trying to play a game. Your smart honors roll daughter is playing it and going, oh, I broke it.
Yeah, I know how to get around this.
Yeah. You don't have to level up. You can farm here, glitch here. Look at speed runs.
Boom.
The definition of the speed run is from the beginning to the end credits. And she goes, all right. The way that the world works is if you can speed run through curriculum, through your grade, here it goes. You want to wait for her?
Yeah, she fell back a little bit.
Okay.
But she was, again, day 2, when she found out that she can work ahead. Her first thing was, can I work ahead and be a week ahead and then just take a week off in the middle of September?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
I don't see how they'll, yeah.
How am I going to say no?
Yeah.
It's like you've worked ahead of the system. You've done what you needed to do. You've met your requirement, and if you have a chance to take a break, go ahead.
And that's your parenting is saying, hey, if it's allotted in the game, then do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and she wanted to take that time to go visit her grandmother, which we haven't been able to do because of
all this pandemic, COVID. Can I ask you one question? Well, I'll ask you a bunch, but what do you think the everlasting effects of, at least if it continues this way, will be on you or kids of your age or the youth in general if this is how school is this year? Just 1 year. Let's just say school like this is this way this year. What do you think the effects would be on society?
I feel like maybe that they'll be more prepared for something like this if it happens again.
Okay.
If it happens next year, like the same exact thing, that hopefully maybe they'll have a little bit more structure and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, in a sense, that we kind of knew this was coming.
And they did nothing?
If we're going to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Why didn't we have a backup plan? You know what I mean?
Everybody
should have a sort of backup plan of something,
Plan A
you
and Plan B.
You always have to expect the worst.
You.
And
Coming from a 15-year-old.
15-year-old.
Did that influence that comment at all?
Yeah.
Don't know.
I don't know. Was it said before? So you always have to expect the worst.
Expect the
Hope
worst
the
and
best.
prepare for the worst.
Prepare for the worst and expect the worst. And then when do you hope for the best? You don't? You just don't. Don't hope for the best. You'll be let down.
Yeah.
Hey.
What a harsh life.
Oh yeah. No. Here's like, let me just say this. Like, if I believe that there's a 99% fail rate when you apply for jobs. Okay. You can if you apply for 100 jobs, you'll get 1. But all you need is 1, right? And I'm telling you, mine right now somehow is worse than that. And my success rate might be like 0.2.
Yeah.
So it's like I have a 99.8 fail rate. And so that means I kind of get a job for a week. And what that means is, like, how do you have a 0.2? You get a job for a little bit as they're running your background check, and then they kick you out. Yep. They go, hey, HR wanted to talk to you. You're on leave. You're gone. Or here you got accepted. Here's your offer. Let's just finish this. Oh, you're gone. So wait, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's better just to after that. And let me tell you what I'm going to do. So as we can continue this, I feel like I have no other opportunities right now besides putting in applications just to see what sticks. So I'm going back to marketing myself, entrepreneurial means of income. So I might either go back to doing some music, try to do lessons for people, anything that doesn't require me to take a background check or someone's not going to pressure me with that is what I'm resorted to. I have to resort to that.
You have to be your own boss.
I have no other option but to be my own boss. And if that doesn't work out, because how many businesses fail? What is the odds that a business fails? Then what do I do? You know? But anyway, that's just a little side note.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the dog some water here so you might
Absolutely.
splash
Okay.
but
Oh yeah.
here, girl. So you guys can keep touching.
Oh, I was going to ask you then. So what? I know you're young and you don't have to know, but what would you like your education to do for you? I mean, you said you wanted to do a trait. It teach you, computer skills, teach you tax skills, teach you
the
law
one class
skills.
I'm taking right now, I just started taking it. Actually, just got loaded up on my like course, like keeper. That's what I'm gonna call it, right? So it just got uploaded on it. It's called Human Studies. So basically, it's
Go let her jump in the lake.
Okay.
So basically, it's about like humanitarian services. So
Okay.
like it's about like people who are helping the homeless and everything. And that's really interesting to me, and I feel like that's a great course, right?
Yes.
So why can't we have courses like that and you just take courses like that? Like, that's a thing that interests me. Another thing that would interest me would
A course
be,
that teaches you how and what.
meditation and,
Ooh.
Like spiritual guidance and stuff. Like, that would be interesting, but do we have a class like that?
Like to open up
No.
your chakras and all the,
Exactly,
yeah.
So
So,
interesting stuff like
or
that.
yoga in general,
Exactly.
a yoga
You can-
class.
I mean, we do at our school, we did have kids doing yoga, but it was uncomfortable.
Oh, she's gonna love
because
that.
Yeah, she's just gonna chill out in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, you have girls doing yoga in front of boys, and that's obviously going to make the girls uncomfortable.
Yeah, because you're
know?
15 years old.
Put your
Exactly.
butt up in the
Hey, even when I did yoga at the YMCA, with the older ladies and everything, I could pretty much tell that it was uncomfortable that me, a man, was in a class where it was all females, and I was like, I'm just here to like, do this.
Exactly.
And it goes both ways. Women look at men, men look at women,
Exactly,
women look at
yeah.
women, men look at men. So it doesn't go both ways. It goes always, right?
It goes always.
It goes always. So okay, you feel like as smart as you are, you wanted to specialize your curriculum into things that you would feel like you're going to benefit in the long run at,
Exactly.
without having to go to college. Because what do you think about college?
See, the only way I'm going to college is if it's free.
Okay, so as smart as you are, you also understand that we're in a capitalist thing. You need grants. You need you know what I mean? Like, you need money to go to
Yes.
college, and you're like, well, my situation isn't a lot for that.
You guys could say what's going on.
So what's going on right now is that Shaun took the dog into the lake. The dog got thrown its toy and then didn't get it, and it sunk. So now he's taking off his shoes. He's gonna get some kind of disease for sure, and he's going in there like, let me go get this.
I love my dog.
And he loves his dog, and he's just trying to get that dog's toy, because why would I want to lose 50 cents? There, and he's been bitten. No, there's that.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing that again.
And if you did go to college, what would you want to study, or do you not even know? You just want to go to college to have a college
I
experience?
want to go to college to have a college degree because apparently you need that. And
Yeah.
that's the worst thing about it. And I honestly have no idea where or what I'm going to do when I'm older. And it is a gut-wrenching feeling.
Would you
not
would you
knowing.
vote if you could when you turn 18 for free college, or at least free 4-year college, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
pay for
Oh, definitely.
for
I
a
would-
master's if you needed it?
I would definitely vote for that. That is definitely
Did she really just
important.
trump it? So the dog got it. Oh, actually, Shaun grabbed it, threw it onto the dry land. The dog grabbed it, brought it into the river, and dropped it. And now Shaun's going right back in.
Oh my
He's going right back in. And now he's you can tell the frustration. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's there.
Hi, everybody.
And now I have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
No, I got enough to say about it.
That's funny. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share outside of school that you're happy you do? Like one thing that's bringing you joy right now?
One thing that's bringing me joy. That's actually nice.
For your mental health and something that's helping you?
Tell me one good thing and one bad thing.
Yeah, that's what we try to do.
Okay.
Even if our life is going to hell, keep on going through it.
I wrote a thing on kindness today. Like, you know, like what do you do? And it was an assignment for me. It was for the
Humanities?
human studies class.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was for that, and you had to write a little just a 15 minutes. It said set a timer for 15 minutes and tell us all the kind things you've done, and just say what comes to your mind and write it down. And I was like, wow, this is great. And I realized how actually how much of a giving person I am. I've given a lot. I mean, I don't mean to sound like putting myself up there or anything.
Yeah, toot your own horn, so to speak, but you realize that you do give more than you take. You're a giver.
It took a moment to actually reflect on how...
You do that, she's going to drown.
Oh, it's still going to
Oh, okay. He acted like he was going to throw it in again. Okay, here we go. Let's go home.
So, I mean, and I feel like...
What are some of the things the highlights of your giving that you wrote?
I thought about everything I did yesterday. I mean, I gave you a hug.
Yep.
You needed a hug.
I did need a hug yesterday.
I bought my friend free sushi the other day. I didn't buy him free sushi. I bought it for him to make it free for himself.
Correct. I bought him, yeah.
Yeah, I bought him sushi, you know.
So you paid for a meal.
Sprite, yesterday, and I've just been trying to, I know, stuff's hard for other people, so why not try to give back for them, too?
Do you take it upon yourself to do something nice for somebody? Sometimes it costs money. Sometimes it costs, an effort and time giving a hug. And then one thing I want to mention since you're here, what's some of the stuff that you plan on giving in the future or at least you hope to do in the future on giving for the needy that we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like giving back to the needy, but I also feel like giving back to the earth is very important. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, you see how badly people treat it. You look around, there's litter all over the freaking park. You know, and I feel like the only thing that has kept any stability in this crazy time and has tried to keep itself from not continuously falling apart.
The earth has?
The reason why the earth is falling apart is because of the people.
So essentially you have a theory that the whole pandemic kind of stuff is the earth's way of trying to regulate itself. It's just trying to get back to normal when we're messing it up? I mean, not necessarily. I don't have any spiritual beliefs in it. But it's just the fact that the only thing that's kept anybody any sort of grounding, literally, it's the ground. You know what I mean? The ground that grounds us.
Exactly. So people trashing on the thing they walk on every day. It's just
by milking its resources, not just throwing litter, but
the only thing that's keeping people alive, they're trying to kill. And that's...
Now do you get why they say that humans are a parasite?
Oh,
because
humans are 100%
the earth is a living thing, and we're bleeding it dry, so to speak, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to interrupt and maybe circle back to something that I wanted to mention and kind of let it slide when I was fishing out treats from the freaking lake. But back to the school thing, right? Let's say, sometime later this year there's a vaccine, everybody gets it, everybody's protected, and schools go back to normal, right? Absolutely normal.
2019 normal.
2019 normal. How are you going to tell a generation of children that went to school for 2 days all year in 2020 that now they have to go back to 5 days in 2021?
Oh, I hear.
Are those kids going to be like, well, I only had to do Monday and Thursday? Dogs wore out. Yeah,
dogs wore out. So you're saying how they
how are they?
Now that their mind's been blown,
How are you going to justify? I got to do 5 days of school when last year I only had to do 2.
And a little analogy for that. So if you're getting taught magic tricks, right, and then someone shows you how they do it, how are you going to trick them into being surprised again?
Yeah.
So if that's what this year is like, all right, here's how the magic's done. We give you a little bit, but we we have fluff it all up, and you come to school, make sure that your parents can do their 9 to 5, and blah blah blah.
The card was palm the whole time.
Yeah, it was in my, yeah, it was the whole time. It's just a smoke and mirrors trick, okay? Have a good day. And then, you know, they expect you to have amnesia and go, all right, smoke and mirrors. Now remember, you forget.
That card was never in my hand.
Yeah, no, it's in your hand. I should only have to be here twice or one day for like 1 day worth of school, and that's still more than I spent in a week last year.
I got straight A's last year, and I spent 20 minutes a week in math.
Yeah. So what
know?
the hell? Yeah, right. And they're like, well, that's not how it works.
How are you going to justify that to a generation, not just one kid, not just a class, a generation of kids? That now 5 days of school is necessary.
I'm sorry, but like, you're gonna try to teach these kids to go back to a normal when they see that the normal doesn't matter because
we proved it.
It's a facade.
It's been legitimately proven. You know, you might be at school, like 2019 me being in school, feeling like, man, this is really pointless. There's nothing to this.
But I got to be here.
But there's something like, maybe there is something that we're doing here. Maybe, you know, like you have these things in your mind, like maybe this is important.
Again, the magic trick was, now they're showing you how it's done.
Exactly. And
so before you thought it was all magic, delayed gratification exists.
Exactly. Like, you feel like, oh, this is pointless, but there might be some reason to it, and then you go to this and you realize that it in fact is pointless.
And again, I see the only way of coming out of quote unquote the pandemic and returning to quote unquote normal is a vaccine.
A vaccine?
That's the only.
What about force? Not to say like anything. What about do this or get in trouble?
Oh, too bad. You are going to have to go back to normal.
Go back to school. Your parents get you get taken away from your parents because it's child abuse.
Truancy.
What if, truancy, child abuse. What if go back to you stay in school and do what we say, or you're in trouble for breaking the rule? What about just straight up threat of force or
well, I mean, isn't that what the hybrid schedule is now? Your kids have to go to school at least 2 days a week. I'm putting, and this is why my kids are in virtual, you know, home online learning. So you're forcing me to send my children to school where they can potentially get ill.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at, like in a sense, like
what risk, you know, what risk are you willing to take?
So yeah, when you rebel against force or when you rebel against authority, sadly you'll be exactly where a person maybe like me is, where you're now going to be like, well, you had bad grades in school because you rebelled against the system. Good luck getting into college. Oh,
and that's why I focus on trying to just get good grades enough so I can get into something just to have.
And now it's harder for you.
Plan B.
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's important to know what she just said. She was focusing on the old way of school because she wanted to make sure she had a way to get into college. Now that it's been revealed, she has a harder time, or it's much more hard for her to play this game without wanting to break it. And she doesn't know how she's going to snap back.
There's no incentive.
There's no more incentive.
There's no incentive to play the game within the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just...
Because you saw how easy it could be switched. Last year it was played this way. This way it's going to be played this year. Timeout. You know, I was playing it this year. No, we're not going back to that until we tell you to.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't see how you can pull the curtain back and say, oh, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
The Wizard of Oz kind of stuff, right?
Once you see the man, the magic's over, right?
That's what it is. Is that what you're talking about, Wizard of Oz? Once you just saw, it was a big, floating, awesome, scary face, and now they're like, it's just a guy pulling some gears.
Pulling some levers.
No, ignore that. Ah, that's actually a good one.
There you go. This is what school is. School is the Wizard of Oz.
It's the Wizard of Oz. Go watch.
Shaun always comes up with crappy ones. There's a good one.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, interject because I'm just fly on the wall watching all this go down. That's why I was going to ask a bunch of questions rather than talk. But at the same time, where's my incentive? My incentive then, like not for school, but like, so I see the world, and I see everyone else's going, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. I look at my situation and go, hey, I got a situation that doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm not in jail. I'm not in prison. I have no conviction, but I can't get a job and I can't see my kids.
Pay no attention to it not making sense. Just try to do.
Just keep going by threat of force. That's what I'm saying. Like, so by the whole thing that keeps me on track is threat of force. If you don't follow the rules, if you don't do this, you're going to be in big trouble. And I'm not talking about like get an F in school. I'm talking about 3 years in the pet, like, so we're like, okay, well, make sure you do what you're supposed to do by threat of force. And in the same sense,
Honestly,
on a
I
mass
feel
scale,
like-
what happens if I stop caring about threat of force? Then what happens? Where's my incentive of stay this? If you'll never get to see your kids, you stay the course, you'll get to see your kids. So I stay the course, eventually you'll get a job. So I stay the course. If that doesn't happen, what's the incentive
To keep going.
to be a good Samaritan, to be to abide by the rules that don't make sense? Already they don't make sense, but I'm told they'll produce outcomes. I'm told
This will be the end result.
yeah, you do your, like, we'll go back to Rule 35. You do your Rule 35. It's not meant to keep you away from your kids. It's meant to, in the end, if there's something to be focused on, for you to focus on, so that you can do, you can actually have visitation or whatever it is, right? So you go, okay, cool. I'm doing everything you say. I'm going into massive amounts of debt because a Rule 35 costs $3,500. They maybe don't tell you that, but that's what it is. So you're like, well, I don't have a job. I don't care. Follow the rules by threat of force.
Yeah. Do this or never.
Yeah.
Your threat is force.
And that's not just me. I bring that up because that's my situation. But imagine all the people out there that just want a place in the sun to like enjoy the fruits of their labor, and then they go, well, you got to do all this to get it, and you're like, oh, I'll try.
Okay, and again, this doesn't equate to like simple possession charges, right? Now you have that on your record, and your record says you've had some, you've been convicted of possession. It's like, oh well, now I can't get a job with that either. It becomes, it's not just a simple act; it's multiple.
It cascades down.
God, everything's so corrupt.
It is.
That's the short story. Everything is just corrupt.
So what's stopping me from playing the corrupt game? Threat of force, fear,
Morals.
Basically, the only
morals. So I have to make sure I have upkeep. I upkeep my morals, and I feel like I have morals, but I also. Given all this torture that I feel like I'm under, you can only take so much torture before you throw in the towel.
Yeah.
Then you say, I've had enough torture. Okay.
Honestly,
You cannot possibly torture me anymore. Go ahead.
I feel like the only thing that's keeping the world together is threat of force.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
think about it. Like murder. Murder's bad, right?
Yeah.
You can't go kill anybody. Well,
Or you'll be murdered yourself by the
here's-
government.
Well, here's the thing,
or
right?
in jail
You
for
can
life.
I'm not condoning go out and kill somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
Please don't take it that way.
Oh God.
But what's stopping you? What is stopping you? What's stopping you is the threat of force, the threat of incarceration, the threat of, the
Incarceration.
threat of capital punishment. That's the only thing or a moral compass that comes from somewhere. Be it religion, be it personal belief, whatever it is, that's holding you back from going out and just mass.
I think that would be the top three things. The top three things that most people don't do a capital crime like that, or whatever that like is. One, they're not that person. They're actually, whether there was a law against it or not, you're not the person to commit such an act. Second is, if you were, your religion prohibits it, and you abide by your religion because you hope that there's an afterlife. So you go, there's more to this world than what meets the eye, and I'm striving for that bliss, that nirvana, right? And then the third one would be, I have too much to lose. I would do it. I don't believe in religion, but I don't want to be away from my family. I don't want to be in a box,
Yeah.
I don't want to be, like treated like an animal for the rest of my existence. And that's the threat of force, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And what happens when you don't believe that the system, even if you were to do the up and up, is going to treat you right and not throw you in that box anyway? And you're not religious.
yeah.
And you're the kind of person who's always been curious about that but never want to do it. So all three of those things get stripped from you, and then who do you become? What's your mental health then?
Yeah. And
That's
again,
scary.
It's really scary.
That's really scary. And is the world is more and more people getting pushed into this rock and hard place? This
I have no other choice.
or I don't care anymore kind of choice,
I don't care. This is the overriding sense of morality just goes away, because what does it matter? It shouldn't,
Yeah.
if you come to that realization.
Again, Jeffrey Epstein. You look at a person like that who should have been, he was already convicted of very similar things way before he actually got his next prison sentence. Money somehow, and why don't people ask, why the hell was Bill Clinton hanging out with him for so much? Why was Donald Trump hanging out with him so much? When you know what the guy was doing, how come this was allowed to persist? And then so you go, okay, so the system's corrupt. That's what you conclude. Whether they tell you or not, they're never going to tell you, oh yeah, the government's completely corrupt, fuck you. No one's going to say that. So then the second, and this is hypothetical stuff. This isn't like, I have evidence. So the second part is, well, if he gets to do it, I get to do it. YOLO. And you go, well, are you the person to do it? No, my religion.
Yeah.
My religion. And then you had that thing that you showed me about God and about how many 5-year-olds, a number of certain 5-year-olds die per year, and they're all going to hell because they believed in the wrong God, wrong place, wrong time of birth. And so it makes you question beliefs and which, you know. So all these things are being questioned, and does it lead to anarchy? And then we're sitting here with this 15-year-old girl who we obviously want to be a productive member of society, bar none. It's not like you're
basically saying don't have hope. It's not worth it. I mean, I don't want that to be the message you take away from today, but
no.
Good Lord.
The good Lord. Okay, here, do your sign off.
I found this other sign off. It's a quote from Helen Keller. Let me pull it up. So talk for just 2 seconds until I pull it up.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk, but I'm also going to just say you should have some form of joy in your life, and you should also have something.
That's why I give to people.
That's why. Your joy in life is to give back, regardless of how bad things get.
Yep.
Do you feel like people are grateful when you give them stuff, or when you do something for them?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so very much along the lines of my other sign off. This is a quote from Helen Keller. It says, "Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much."
Cock of the Walk podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
We'll do as many as we can because life picks up and we can't do them.
When we can.
Yeah, we'll do them together when we can. I might do short 15-minute things about personally my mental health. If Shaun can't do it, you can stay tuned to those. There'll still be podcasts. There'll be 0.5 or whatever number we're on. So if this is 6, then it'll be 6.5 will be me just talking for 15 minutes. You can check those out. And if you have anything you want to share with us, contact us at CockoftheWalkPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.
Peace, love, and stay positive.
There's your sign off.
Hey, this is Brendan from Cock of the Walk Podcast. If you like what you heard, you can support us just by sharing the link. That's the most important thing, is to get the word out. If you want to go beyond that, you can do donations. You can become a member and subscribe, or you can even buy some merch. You can find us at www.halfmoonday.com. We are a Half Moon Day LLC production. You can also reach us directly with comments, questions, or topics you want us to discuss at CockoftheWalkPodcast@gmail.com or CockoftheWalkPodcast@AOL.com. We also have a Facebook, and you can find us on YouTube under the Half Moon Day page. On behalf of myself and Shaun, thank you very much for tuning in. We know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and we appreciate your time. Have a good day.